Man, this bike ride's so good. It's awesome. It'll put a smile on your face. I mean, if you just had a stressful day at work and you want something that's gonna de-stress you, get one of these things. This is better than going to the gym. I mean, it's awesome. Hey, I'm gonna go up this hill real quick. All right, I don't know if you can see my GoPro on my wrist. There's 20 mile an hour right there. It's that easy. Go have yourself a blast, get a Trek rail. All right, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube. And I've got a really exciting bike here. When I say exciting, this is something that'll make your heart pump. This is the new Trek rail. This is the 9.8 AXS GX model. This is a fantastic, for me, big mountain e-bike with a lot of positives to it. This bike, I'm riding it urban right now, and a lot of times, you know, you don't buy a big mountain e-bike, and I say big mountain, I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. It's got a 150 suspension on the rear, and it's got a 160 in the front. That's pretty big for Biloxi, Mississippi, but it makes for an amazing riding bike. Let me talk about what we do here in Biloxi. I mean, of course, whoever buys this bike can go take it pretty much wherever they want. A lot of times you don't buy a mountain bike like this to go ride urban, but it's so nice when you have one of these in your driveway, in your garage, and your kids want to go for a ride and want to go through the park. It makes it fun. Hey, getting off work like I just did, I've been working in a bike shop all day. You know, I got quite a thrill riding this bike around. Like I said, you generally don't buy a bike like this to ride urban, but it makes for an amazing urban assault weapon. 200 millimeter brake rotors on a Coda, SRAM Coda, 4-piston brake system, electronic shifting, 160, 150, dropper seat post, very stealthy cockpit. It's got a carbon bar on it. You can see the new controller is very, you know, very stealthy. It's not a big, hey, I'm a big e-bike. It's just blends in really nice. I really like the way Bosch and Trek together have made this controller very easy to see your, you know, basically your basic function, your battery level. You know, since I'm talking about the electronics, just know that this bike is smart. You don't have to use the smart features, but the app that goes with this Bosch system and the Trek app, it's a Trek app, but it tracks so much. One thing I like about it, and of course, you know, I own Biloxi Bicycle Works, so this is not my personal bike. I've had a chance to ride this bike in its home terrain, and it's absolutely fantastic on the mountain. I do a lot of mountain bike racing, a lot of cross-country stuff. I don't live next to a bike park where I'm not used to, you know, hitting big jumps and, you know, railing corners at speed. But the way this bike handled, it brought back all that for me. You know, I had years of motocross racing, years of mountain bike racing. I grew up in Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado. So, but you know, as I've lived in the South, we just don't have these big bike parks. I'm kind of glad at 55 years old I don't live next to a bike park. It's sure fun to visit. Now, this bike was very stable. I am a veteran mountain biker, but since I don't ride that kind of stuff every day, it's hard to show up on a big mountain and keep up with guys that do it every day. Of course, I'm not the smartest in the world. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I definitely did my best and held my own. But I also have to be careful. Now, this bike was the rake of this bike, I believe it's almost a 65 degree head tube angle. It's very, very stable, especially at speed. You know, I get on something like this and it feels like that front end is like a chopper, but when you're actually riding this bike at speed, you know, on a mountain, it feels fantastic. You know, one thing I do notice about this bike too, you know, it has an oversized head tube. I think it's like 1 1/8 bearing back here. So the crown fork on these bikes, these modern e-bikes, really do lend their hand to being a bit more beefy. You know, people are hooking these bikes. They're doing big gap jumps on these bikes. You guys watch the videos, so I don't have to tell you what people are doing on these bikes, but these bikes can now handle it. And when it's got a badge like Trek, Trek's gonna back up their product, so they gotta be careful what they put out. But this bike really, this Zeb fork, and look at this rear suspension. I mean, it's very tunable. I'm not going to go into all the details of all the adjustments and tuning on this fork, but you can get this fork to react or not react the way you want. I love setting up a suspension, but that's not what this video is about. This is just a quick overview of this bike and my opinion of it. I love the new SRAM GX shifting. I mean, that derailleur is hitting. I've got an XO on my race bike, but this is a modern, even more modern, so you can't go wrong. I mean, you really can't go wrong. And when you're riding an e-bike, an e-bike with power, this bike easily goes down the road at 20 plus miles an hour. I've got my Garmin going, so I know it goes 20 plus miles an hour. Let me actually shut that thing off. It's nice that you can shift this bike hard. It's designed to shift under pressure. And when you're riding an e-bike like this, you're gonna be throwing it under pressure. So it stops good, it brakes good, it shifts good. You see the Boost 148 right on the back. And it does have 30mm internal width rims, so you can run up to 2.6. Right now it's got 2.5, which seems beefy for me as being a, you know, a cross-country guy. But just the way the fit and finish of this bike is, it's beefy. You can see right there, powered by Bosch. This is not cheap. You got the Mino link right here, so you can change the attitude of this bike really, really quickly. And this suspension, I mean, we do have carbon, you know, mountain carbon frame, rear triangle, and the rocker is actually a magnesium. So I remember back when I had a RockShox magnesium stanchions, and I thought that was pretty cool. But magnesium is still around, doing good. Plenty of gearing on this bike, and this is completely stock. They've done a really nice job with the batteries, so they've made this battery really easy to get out in one piece. In case you are on a trip, you want to bring it into your hotel room to charge up, something like that, you can easily take this battery out now. Of course, we've got dropper seat post that works very well. Carbon bar. This bike really does ride fantastic. And when I talk about, you know, wanting to do something urban on it, it's nice that you can, you know, if you do live by some mountain bike trails, you can ride this on a daily basis. I know people that train on these and then go race on the weekends and kick butt. So you can also chase your kids around with this. This bike even has a kickstand mount. Don't put a kickstand on this thing, but to be true to my word, the bike is your canvas and you can do whatever you want with it. So if you want a kickstand, you can put one on there. Just a really cool bike. This is springtime, so what is it? It's March, beginning of March. I think it's the 17th or 18th. It's Tuesday. We just closed up the shop. This is a size large. The size chart on Trek puts me in a size large. I'm usually a medium everything. I'm a 5'9" guy, 150 pounds. That's weird for me to be on a size large, but it actually rides really good. I've been listening to Trek sizing. To me, they put me in a little bit bigger bike, but maybe I was riding too small of a bike, so I feel very comfortable on the Trek bikes. If anybody didn't know, this is the back bay of Biloxi, Mississippi. My little bike shop is, you know, a couple blocks up the road from here, and it is fun to take these on urban assaults. Like we do a lot of like urban group rides. There's one going on right now, and This is generally not the kind of bike you take on an urban group ride, but with the power of this Bosch motor, why not? If you're not a cyclist and the suspension is something that's intriguing to you, this is a bike that the suspension has been engineered to actually work on a mountain. So around town, it eats up the bumps and the potholes and the curves like nothing. And the bike's rugged, like it's made to take it. So this was a fairly expensive bike. This was a $10,000 bike. And in March 2025, I think this bike was like a little over $7,000. Some people might be saying, wow, $7,000, I could buy a motorcycle for that. To me, this is way better than a motorcycle. You can't go crank up your dirt bike and ride down the fishing pier right in front of the DMR station. You can sure do it on an e-bike. You can ride this bike up and down the beach boardwalk. You can take this bike into the DeSoto National Forest and you're treated like a bicyclist. Go try that with a dirt bike. And I do like dirt bikes, but to me, this is way more versatile. This is something you can put in your garage when you get home from work. Hop on it. Go for a ride around the neighborhood. Ask your kids if they want to go ride. Your kids would be proud to show off this bike. Let me put it in the sand or the sun. This is called Penny Flake. It's a fantastic color and what a good looking bike. So I didn't even talk about the motor. So this is Bosch's new CX line, 85 Newton meters of torque, and believe me, 85 Newton meters is a lot of torque. But the way this bike is it's a very smooth power system. So if you've ever been mountain biking and you're in a rock garden and you just need to ease over something rather than shoot over something, it's nice that it's a very manageable power system. It's not jerky. It's very, very natural, but with 85 Newton meters, believe me, you got plenty of power to ride right back up that mountain. It's not just for pointing downhill. Point this thing uphill too. Hey, look, we're gonna be doing more on the Trek rail. I don't get a chance to go ride bike parks often, especially right now it's springtime in the bike shop. I'm needed there, but just know that this is an amazing bike at amazing value right now. Trek has got this bike on sale. So if you're shopping for an e-mountain bike and you want something of a higher quality, not a cheap bike, definitely check out this bike. It's very capable. We're doing a group mountain bike ride Sunday on our mountain bike trails. This bike's a little overbiked for it, but it's great when some of my friends come out and you don't have to be out of shape to get an e-bike. That theory's way gone. But if you are out of shape, call it what it is. Hop on this thing and you can still have a blast riding with a group. You're still going to get plenty of fitness. You're still going to end up sweaty, but at least it's manageable. You'll be with the group. You're not going to be suffering trying to keep up. So it's a great tool to get yourself in shape. But even if you are in shape, it's a great tool for recovery. It's fun for skills. I mean, I've got a friend that lives out here that's an amazing mountain biker. He rides his e-bike most of the time, and when it comes down to it, he's probably one of the fastest guys on his regular bike. So this trains him at speed. Hey, you can't beat the Trek warranty. As a Trek dealer, an IBD, independent bicycle dealer, as a Trek dealer, I don't worry about selling this bike because I know I've got Trek to back me up. So even when we were assembling this bike had scratches on the handlebars, these carbon bars. Well, we didn't want to give it to the customer like that, so we called up Trek, did a warranty, and within a week, I've got a new set of handlebars for this customer. So I'll deliver this bike tomorrow, and then hopefully I'll see this guy out at the mountain bike trails. So if you're looking for one bike to do, when I say one bike to do everything, this bike will absolutely do everything. This is the new Trek rail. This one's the 9.8. And it's a fantastic bike, and right now it's on sale, so grab you one. If you don't have a local, of course, I want everybody to support their local bike shop. Bike shops need it right now. I know my bike shop does. But if you're anywhere close to the Mississippi coast and you want a Trek dealer to help support you, believe me, we're out there we ride with our customers. I'm gonna do a big group ride Sunday. This is, you know, hit us up at Biloxi Bicycle Works. I don't have extensive time on this bike because it's more bike than I need in Biloxi, Mississippi. And I'm a bike shop owner, so I can't really afford to have anything like this right now. But it sure is cool selling these to my customers that can't afford it because they're getting a fantastic bike for the money. All right, I know I got to get back to the shop, but I wanted to make a video out here showing this bike, saying all the good things about it, and I'm sure there's a lot more. There's a lot more technical details I didn't go into, but pretty awesome bike. All right, Trek. All right, YouTube viewers, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. Over and out. All right, well, I just got back to the shop from making that video. I forgot to add a couple things real quick. One, it's a blast to ride. Like, I got a smile on my face after a long day. And other people can too. Like, if get off work and take this for a ride and tell me if you're not in a good mood. It easily hits 20 plus miles an hour without pushing it. It goes to the gears super good with this new SRAM GX AXS shifting. It's 54 pounds, I know, because I just picked it up and walked it up those stairs. So 54 pounds, and compared to some of the 70 and 80 pound e-bikes that I have to pick up to bring up these stairs, this feels like a jewel. I'll put this on the back of a truck any day. I'm a 150 pound guy, so I'm not a big guy, but when it comes to having something with a big battery, and basically, this is a 70-mile battery, and you can get and have a water bottle. So that's what's real nice. Now 70 is on eco mode. I'm sure this thing in turbo mode is gonna chew up the battery a little bit, but you know, just a super cool, fun bike that I'm very thrilled about riding, and I get to ride bikes all day long. Actually, I rode a bike to work and get to ride a bike home. Something like this, if I lived up in the mountains, I'd have one of these for sure. And there's my Trek Super Caliber in there, so I'm really a cross-country racer, but it'd be a blast to just have one of these to ride around. Think about it. Trek rail comes in several variations. This one is the 9.8 AXS GX, on sale right now. Pretty amazing bike. I love this technology. Just getting better and better. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. 54 pounds of fun right there. Man, this bike ride is so good. It's awesome. It'll put a smile on your face. I mean, if you just had a stressful day at work and you want something that's gonna de-stress you, get one of these things. This is better than going to the gym. I mean, it's awesome. Hey, I'm gonna go up this hill real quick. All right, I don't know if you can see my GoPro on my wrist. There's 20 mile an hour right there. It's that easy. Go have yourself a blast, get a Trek rail.